Hong Kong ditches XRP for Solana. Should you do the same? You don't want to miss this discussion we're going to have. We also have Gary Cardone joining us in about 30 minutes. We're going to talk about the ETFs, Bitcoin's future. What does price action potentially look like in the next 2 to 3 months? Speaking of price action, big volatility coming for Bitcoin, says the 4-hour chart. We'll get into that. Also, some news from Polygon. And will the Fed start to introduce new money into the circulation this year? What will that do to the crypto markets? We're going to get right into it. Let's not waste any time. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take old, boring, stale information, repackage that thing up in a fun and sexy way. And then Bitcoin.
Not over 45.
It dropped all the way down. I saw it at 41,000 yesterday, creeping up to 42 early this morning, and now it's over 43,000. Is 50 the next stop?
I don't know.
And you know what?
Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day.
Today is a holiday, Martin Luther King Day, and so the stock market is closed. So no Bitcoin ETF movement today. What is that market going to look like tomorrow when it opens up?
Grayscale is going to be an interesting one to follow over the next few months. We'll see. We'll see what they do. Are they going to stick to their 1.5 and be greedy, or are they going to be, hey, look, we're going to drop this thing. Don't leave. Stay in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Who knows? But we're starting here. XRP gets ditched by Hong Kong Virtual Asset Consortium. Ripple's XRP, once a frontrunner in the global crypto race, finds itself edged out of the HKVAC's top 5 global crypto index, replaced by the rising star Solana. This reshuffling is more than just a mere change in numbers. It reflects a significant shift in the crypto landscape. December 2023 marked a turning point when Solana, with its innovative blockchain infrastructure, surpassed XRP in market cap. This achievement didn't go unnoticed by the HKVAC, leading to its decision to give Solana a nod over XRP in its prestigious index. Robin, Hong Kong did it. Should you do it?
Ditch XRP.
Replace XRP with Solana.
If you have a short-term time horizon, I'm in that camp. So in this next bull market, I'm going to ride with Solana if I have to pick one of the two. Now, I do have my reservations on Solana versus XRP, if this is the narrative you want to discuss.
What are your reservations?
My reservations would be...
So which restaurant?
My reservations are moving outside of the next couple years. First of all, there is a very large saturation of layer 1 smart contract that are using a lot of layer 1 competition, where I'm getting at here. Now, conversely, the XRP, for what they're trying to do, this is less of a playing field, right? Why am I drawing a blank on the other
Payment remittances?
Yeah, Stellar. So
Stellar, you got Nano, you got a bunch of them.
Yeah, but not in the same way that you have in the layer 1s, right? The layer 1s, you have Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, Near. I mean, the list goes on and on. And these are all top projects vying for users, dApps, and liquidity. And so it's going to be hard to break out of there. Now, Solana is a front runner. And the thing that for me, when you're looking at who's going to break out of the layer 1 space, I think it's a coin flip right now, man. And Solana, yes, they look strong, but it might be like the MySpace of crypto.
No, it's what?
No, it might be dominant now. It might be dominant now. But here's the thing: they've had hiccups, they've had issues, they've had problems. I'm just saying that I feel a little more apprehensive of moving forward outside the next 2 years with Solana versus XRP. XRP, I think they've already the judges come out. They've already said that it's not a security, the asset itself, just how it's sold. And so once the lawsuit here in the United States is over, I think that they move forward, and the partnerships that we discuss all the time with central banks and countries and major banks, I think that this actually starts to play out. And I think that you saw that BlackRock, Larry Fink was coming out here and discussing tokenization of assets. I think that a lot of smart people out here are seeing that there's going to be an integration, whether you want it to or not. And an integration into the banking system. I think XRP is the one that makes the most sense. The only thing holding them back is this lawsuit. And it looks like it's gonna go in their favor.
The only thing holding them back? Not their tokenomics. Not anything else? Just the lawsuit?
Yeah. You think their tokenomics is so grave that the project can't succeed?
It's not about being grave. They're just not good. Just had 1 billion coins unlocked every year. And the reason they unlock it, quote, to keep the price stable. Is that an asset you want to have investment to, Robin? An asset that the founder itself comes out and says, yeah, we unlock 1 billion tokens to keep the price stable. Also, if XRP does what it says it's going to do, be the global remittance payment, right, platform, do you want a volatile coin that people are going to use to pay for the fees and the gas fees? Probably not.
Well, the Ripple network they don't require the banks to hold XRP to facilitate the movement of money. And
isn't that a negative?
No, it's more of a broader, it is more of a discussion about what the use case and utility is when you implement it into the banking system. The movement of money internationally.
So you're saying in the next 2 years, you'd rather hold Solana.
Yeah.
After 2 years, XRP.
Mm-hmm.
You're crazy.
Yeah. I think Solana right now has got some hype. It's gonna absolutely grow. My concern is that it's going to be overbought this next bull market. Right now, we're already seeing it. I think that the dApps and developers are going to come in. My concern is that in the last bull market, they had outages after outages. I'm pretty sure that their company's philosophy hasn't changed. They do have Fire Dancer. They're supposed to address these issues, but what other problems have arise from them building so quickly and upgrading so quickly? I'm sure there's going to be things that the developers, coders, and nobody expects, and that haven't been tried and tested. And so it's not so much that they suck by any means. I'm not saying that. It's just that they are new to the game. They came out in 2020, just don't have the track record. We've seen that Ethereum has had time and time again has run into roadblocks and issues, but that's because they've been out for 8 years and they've been addressing them one by one. Actually, more than 8 years, my apologies. But
I don't know.
And so they're going to have more problems, and they're new, and the competition's out there, man. The layer ones, it's ripe with disruption, man.
Well, the next video we're going to post today is our Solana video. And in that video, I highlight and outline how Solana is planning on taking over the crypto industry this year. One of them is what you mentioned was development and what they're doing. You're going to want to watch the video. So watch out for that. I do want to, Robin, I'm looking at our like ratio here. We're at 29.6%. Now, don't ask me how I got that number so fast. I just made it up, but what's going on here?
All right, so taking a look at the chat here, we do have 147 people watching, 50 likes, about a 30% like ratio. So do us a favor, smash the like button. And then also, I did have a couple new faces here. We have Hodl the Line, Decentralized with the S, Sean Carr, Crypto Slab, and Travis Michael. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
All right. Let's talk about Vanguard. They are vanguarding. Before I talk about the vanguardingness, I'd like to talk about guarding our channel and our sponsors. That is none other than our channel sponsor, CAMS, Blue Wire Technology. You want to learn how they can help your business scale, grow, and maximize your networking, IT, and cybersecurity. Visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of the video, or pick up the phone and call them. They'll get on the phone call with you, however long it takes. So big thank you to them. No thank you to Vanguard CEO. We shared last week how Vanguard, along with Merrill Lynch, along with Northwestern Mutual, they have denied their customers access to the spot ETF. And this was Vanguard CEO on, I believe it was CNBC, discussing this very topic. Let's take a listen.
We won't be pursuing a Bitcoin ETF. Just like we don't use gold as an asset class for our clients. So it's not that people can't invest in there. We just look at asset classes for, what belongs in a long-term portfolio, what has intrinsic value, has cash flows to it, and those are the asset classes we steer people towards. And so we don't go towards Bitcoin or gold or any other of those stable assets.
So not even gold, huh? Interesting. Look, the free market allows people to choose, right? If you like being told, yeah, this doesn't belong in your portfolio, this does belong in your portfolio, sure, go to Vanguard. But if you're like, yo, this is my money, I want to put it where I want to put it, then you should probably move your money from Vanguard. Any thoughts on this, Robin? Do you think they'll eventually, you know what, before you answer that question, let me share this. A tweet from Mike Alfred. I called Merrill and Vanguard and told both companies that I'm pulling all my money from their accounts. The rep at each company connected me with a senior account manager, and in both cases, that person apologized profusely for the management's lack of vision, admitted they own Bitcoin personally, and said they've received literally thousands of calls from customers looking to move accounts. This is the beginning of a larger movement. What are your thoughts on this, Robin? Do you think Vanguard eventually is gonna come around, seeing how much money is fleeing their company?
Well, the thing is with Bitcoin, it's not just a store of value. And so when you compare it to gold, then at that point, it's, you can say, hey, we don't offer gold, so we're not going to offer Bitcoin. But you know what? Bitcoin is also payments, right? It's also ordinals. It's also people just speculating on the price, just trying to buy now and make.
Don't forget
the
degens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. So there's a lot more to. When you compare gold and Bitcoin, there's a lot more use case and utility on for someone's portfolio outside of, hey, I just want to just protect my money. And so for that reason, you're fighting more fronts, and your customers are going to go elsewhere to get products. Now, I at the same time, honestly, if Vanguard doesn't want to have it, so be it, man.
Bro, they're the second largest.
I'm not saying it's a smart move. I'm just saying I'm not over here like, oh my God, you guys, like, you know what? You're gonna miss out on customers. But if an exchange decides not to list a token, sure, whatever. If I don't know, man. It's a store. It's like if a store decides not to carry a product, right? There's a couple grocery stores out here that are more organic friendly, and I go there to get some regular sugar, and I can't. They got all this like weird brown sugar and all that. I'm like, can I just get some white sugar, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? This actually happened to me yesterday. Huh. I'm like, I have brown sugar. I got that fancy stuff. I just need some cheap white sugar to make some simple syrup for some cocktails.
You're not being very inclusive, Robin.
And all I'm saying is that, like, if a company doesn't want to offer a product, then so be it. We're over here like, you know what? You can have two accounts.
Unacceptable.
If Cardano isn't on this exchange, but it's on another one, I'm not going to be like, I'm never using this exchange again. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just have two exchanges. I buy stuff here. I want my Bitcoin. I buy it on this one. And then if I need Cardano and it's not on that exchange, I'll buy it on this one. And you know what? If I don't need Bitcoin and I got stocks, if it's in Vanguard, cool.
No,
if they don't offer Bitcoin, I'll just go to another place and buy it.
Take all your money out.
Now, as far as if I was running Vanguard, then sure, I'd be like, yeah, man, we're going to lose some people here. But I'm just saying, like, from an outside perspective, you don't want to offer it? Cool, man. Props, bro. Awesome.
No,
good luck with that.
Props. Bad. Bad Vanguard. I hope.
But Scott Melker is all in on that. Man. Have you seen his Twitter feed?
No.
Just type in Scott Melker and then scroll down. You'll see it ain't nothing besides him just trashing Vanguard. Like, that dude is salty. Like, I feel like he has a Vanguard account or something, man. We like Scott Melker. He's cool. I just thought it's funny because I was scrolling through his account. It's just nothing besides Vanguard. He's going full tilt on that one, man.
Jordan's our store value. Outside of Vanguard, we do have a few bulls here. So these are some front page of websites of BlackRock, Fidelity, and VanEck. This is BlackRock. Remember, this is the very first thing you see when you go to BlackRock.com. Here's VanEck, hold Bitcoin with HODL, the Bitcoin ETF or the Bitcoin Trust, and then Fidelity, the Origin Bitcoin Fund. So some are going all in, some are going all out. And then here we have, this was very interesting. So this ETF is supposed to reach a new subset of potential customers, right? Onboard new people. These are the Gen Xers, the baby boomers, the ones that hold the majority of the wealth that's going to be transferred, right? Close to $70, $80 trillion with a T. With a T. Now these guys, right? They have an asset class. If their financial advisor's smart, they'll put the numbers in front of them, said, hey, over the last 13 years, annually compounded, Bitcoin has brought back 125 to 150%. The halving every 4 years brings a supply shock, so on and so forth. Then they go back, oh my God, okay. Well, they're going to want to learn, right? If you're moving millions, billions, trillions of dollars collectively, you want to know what you're putting it into. And we have companies like BlackRock that are, seems like they're looking to bridge that gap. And here's one video from BlackRock.
Digital asset adoption has significantly accelerated over the past decade, with profound implications for the future of finance. Bitcoin is the original cryptocurrency to gain global adoption and has continued to maintain its dominance despite thousands of others coming into existence. You might have noticed Bitcoin make its way into our everyday lives, from Bitcoin ATMs to various merchants accepting Bitcoin as payment, further driving interest in what the future holds for the cryptocurrency. Investors have taken notice, as institutions and individual investors alike have been adopting Bitcoin into their investment portfolios, with some viewing it as a potential store of value and others as a potential game changer in how money moves around the world. But for many...
I'll stop it there. I see some people saying boring. I know it's boring to us because we know it. But to the person who has no idea what the hell Bitcoin is, this is great. Someone said, Palukin said, problem with Vanguard is you can buy BITO on it, BITO, which is the futures ETF.
They took it off.
They took it off. Yeah, they're done with that. Some altcoin news. Fetch AI is doing a network upgrade. A reminder to the community, network upgrade proposal goes live on Monday, so let's stay on the timeline. Then on January 15th, the upgrade will begin, and the network will have temporary downtime. So if you play around with Fetch.ai, keep that in mind. Also, Chainlink adoption upgrade. This week, there were 8 integrations of 4 Chainlink services across 7 different chains, including Arbitrum, BNB, Ethereum, Linea, Optimism, Polygon, and ZK Sync. You had 3 integrations with CCIP, 1 with automation, 1 with VRF, and 3 with price feeds, which was their original use case, the oracles.
Now, David.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's at 43,000.
Yeah.
This is dramatic for me, man. I've been thinking to myself.
What a wonder.
And our timeline, right? And we've discussed it, and I haven't had a conversation with you, so I want to know where you land on this. We were thinking bull market would kick off a little earlier than, say, previous cycles because of the halving, right? Halving's coming up about 3 months from now. And typically, bull market kicks off shortly after the halving, right before you kind of get a slow run up. Anyways, our narrative has been, hey, ETFs are going live. We're going to get an injection of liquidity, plugging in the traditional markets, institutions. And we're supposed to see all-time highs shortly after the ETF going live, right? We've talked about it multiple times, 60,000. Is this still in play? Or is it going to fall back to default cycle and we get the real bull market? We get that $60,000 Bitcoin in November, December of this year. That would kind of line up with the previous cycles. And we just kind of have a little sideways consolidation, a little up and down. Until then,
the big question mark for me is Grayscale, right? I think me personally, I undersold the impact that their high fees would have on people redeeming the shares of their Bitcoin, right? Their GBTC shares.
You think the high fee, the 1.5, is the reason?
Why else would people? I mean, that's part of the reason. The other part of the reason is people bought it when it was at a 48% discount. Now they're realizing
You could have bought $10,000 Bitcoin,
right? But now they
a
actually
year
have
ago.
to sell that Bitcoin, right? So which
I think for the fees, people selling because of the fee, they're just buying it at the next competitor. You sell, you're like, hey, the fee's too high. You sell your Bitcoin and then you just buy it on BlackRock, right? So I think the fees are negligible. Yeah, you want to exit your position on Bitcoin, you want to sell out. It's not because of the fee. You're just gonna be like, hey, man, it's like you have a car loan and you have 12% interest on your car loan, and then all of a sudden interest rates by the Fed are down to 0. You're still at 12%. You're just gonna refinance. You're not gonna sell your car and take the bus. You're gonna be like, you know what? Let me just refinance. I can get this thing down to 4% or 6%. That's the law. You're not going to just sell. You're not going to just walk and boot it out. And so if you're holding Bitcoin and you bought it from Grayscale and you're just like, yeah, man, these fees are too high. You're not going to all of a sudden just sell out and not carry Bitcoin anymore. So my thing is my big question is there going to be a delay on this institutional money coming in? Because the money came in, the sell orders from Grayscale were just were underestimated, like you said. And I think that subsides. Grayscale selling subsides.
When though? When?
I think this week. I think that people are falling asleep at the wheel and they're underestimating this ETF, and we just have a massive sell pressure from Grayscale right now. Second biggest wallet there is. Second biggest custodial in Bitcoin. Right behind Satoshi. We know his ain't moving. So realistically, biggest allotment of Bitcoin that all got bought at discount or overpaid and people held for God knows how long. And so these people are selling immediately. We got money coming in. I think, what was it? How much money did BlackRock bring in? It was like a 1-point-something billion?
Yeah, close to 2.
Yeah.
No, BlackRock itself?
Yeah.
About 1.1, I believe.
1.1. Those people are here to stay. You opened up an account with BlackRock, or you called BlackRock up, or you opened up your app, whatever, however you picked it up. Those people are not selling next week. So once these sell orders clear out from Grayscale, it's just going to keep stacking. All these ETFs are going to keep growing. Grayscale sell pressure is going to keep shrinking, and then massive amount of money over I would say 2-month window is coming in. And so for me, I think that if you had the expectation ETF was going to go live, all of a sudden price would shoot up a week later or 2 days later after the ETF went live. I think we need to pump the brakes. Calm down a little bit.
It's been 2 days. BlackRock has 11,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that as well. So now this is what we saw in 2 days from BlackRock. Just imagine if you remove Grayscale from the situation. And these sellers are going to slow down, right? The sellers, they're gonna pause, right?
Okay. Let's also break this down, right? So we have the crypto native people, right? 70% of, you hear Anthony Pompliano say this all the time when he goes on Fox and CNBC, 70% of the supply has moved in the last year. Those people aren't selling now, right? They know what's coming. And feel free to answer these yes or no questions, Rob. They're not selling. They've been holding for a long time. They've been holding through 16, 20, 25, 30, 35, now $43,000. Halving's around the corner. Excuse me. You'd be stupid to sell Bitcoin with the demand pressure coming in and the supply getting cut in half, right? You have the traders. They're going to do what they do. They're going to buy, sell, trade Bitcoin, right? That's going to remain constant. And then you have these people that decided, hey, we're going to buy some shares of the BlackRock ETF. Will they get spooked if price goes down to 38, 36K and throw their hands up and say, I can't deal with this? I don't know. That and then, but I see your point, and I'm gonna agree with you that the grayscale sell pressure potentially. I don't know about the next week, but in the very near future, definitely before the halving, that thing will be gone. And again, 2 days, 11,000 Bitcoin on the balance sheet. What does that look like a month from now? 3 months from now? At the end of the year?
David,
What?
like a girlfriend that's slightly interested in me, and I asked her out on a date. You keep beating around the bush, man. Is the bull market coming early, or are we going to get here at the end of the year? That's what I want to know, man. Are we expecting new all-time highs within the next 3 months, or is it going to be at the end of the year to follow the last cycle? That's what I want to know, man.
New all-time highs before the halving.
New all-time highs before the halving, or new all-time highs post-halving. And when I say post-halving, I'm talking about back half of the year.
Oh, that's a tough question, man. That's a really hard question. I don't like to throw BS, yes, no.
I do.
Okay. So you obviously
new all-time high before the halving, bro. I'm telling you, you are falling asleep at this ETF thing. If you think that the ETF was a failure, open your eyes. Institutions is here because there was a massive sell pressure from Grayscale. And in the first 2 days, stock market's been closed. We got an extra day too. I'm telling you, man, there is a wall of money. There is a wall of money ready to pull the trigger tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll see. You see this $43,000 Bitcoin today. Wait till the end of the week, bro. So maybe it doesn't. Maybe they don't pull the trigger as far as tomorrow, because I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that are looking to sell from Grayscale still. I'm sure they haven't cleared all their sells. But by the end of the week, I think that we are going to see. So we're not going to see anything massive, crazy. But I think by the end of the week, the market's going to rebound to where it was right before the halving.
Are you going to take
48.49?
So are you going to take a 10x long position on Bitcoin tonight?
You know, I'm glad you mentioned that. We do have a special show tonight, a 5 p.m. Pacific time, Vegas time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's the 100X. That's the name of the show, 100X. This is sponsored by BingX, and so come hang out with us. David's going to be.
I'm stoked, man. I'm super excited. I got my eyes on some trades here. You know, although Robin,
what was your answer? You said no?
I'm gonna wait. Hold on. I might not have clarity, but hopefully our guest does. And it is a friend of the channel, Gary Cardone, is joining us. Gary, how you doing, man?
What's up, boys? How you doing?
We're great, man. Thank you so much for coming back. I know we had some technical difficulties last time. We're excited to have you back. Gary, Robin asked a question. Damn it, I'm confused. I need your help. He said, with everything going on, the ETFs, real quick, in your opinion, were the ETFs a success or a failure? I feel like there's kind of a divide in the crypto space right
now. Well, they launched. Like, that's a success. Nothing crashed. 11 approved, and we had a tell from the political system that they still hate it. So Vanguard, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, they hate this stuff, dude. They just abhor it, which is, I find quite interesting. After the SEC went through the process, and they're still fighting it, says quite a bit. So yeah, I think it was a success. I'm not sure what people were expecting. Were they expecting $100,000 tomorrow morning? I just don't think markets work that way. I think that would have been greatly concerning. I like what the price is doing, quite frankly. It makes sense to me that things are settling. And we're all learning more about how this instrument's going to work. And the layover from Grayscale, I mean, that's an issue, right? The fees are an issue. I think you're having a reallocation. I don't know what would people want to say this was a success. I mean, price is not always the greatest indicator of whether something is a success or not. And I don't think very many people have moved into this from the outside yet. I think actually you're going to start seeing Bitcoiners, maybe like myself, deploy more money into the ETF now.
Why is that, Gary? And I'm happy you brought that up. And before you answer, Gary, I want to share this. Okay, so this is an article highlights what Kevin O'Leary said, and I'm curious to get you to expand on what you were about to say. So Kevin O'Leary wants nothing to do with Bitcoin spot ETFs. He's made it clear that he's steering away from the ETFs. Said he's already invested in Bitcoin directly and isn't keen on shelling out extra fees for something he believes adds no value. He views them as unnecessary for someone who, like himself, is already deeply invested in Bitcoin and considers it digital gold. So, Gary, you were saying, right, and I know you have Bitcoin. It's because you say it on your Twitter Spaces all the time, right? You're a Bitcoiner. Why do you think he's saying this? And do you think people share more of your line of thinking? And hey, I own Bitcoin, but I'm also going to get exposure to the ETF. Or do you think they're saying, hey, I'm self custody, I don't need to buy an ETF?
Well, I think self-custody, Bitcoin and ETF are different instruments. Let's pretend like I have $100 million of liquid cash. And let's say that I had the guts to deploy half of that in a Bitcoin wallet, which would be a monster amount of money sitting in a Bitcoin wallet, I think. Why is anybody going to do more? Are they going to go to 100%? I mean, maybe they will, but I could see the ETF. It really depends on, I think this is the part that we have yet to discover, is how long does it take for them to balance? Do they have T1, T2, T3, T4, T5 to settle, or can they hold positions? And if they hold position, can they trade around those positions? I most certainly believe they will trade, which then tells me, hey, for the next couple of years, I mean, an ETF could actually outperform if they're able to really trade it. I mean, BlackRock will know every major whale in the system today, more than you and I will know. They'll know everything. Now, for Kevin has a lot of direct business. Maybe for him, he doesn't need to use a third party, but my sister will. And I could build a case that there'll be pieces of my investment that I look at and go, hey, maybe ETF on some more Bitcoin wouldn't be wrong. Or maybe an ETF with an Ether percentage in it would be interesting. Maybe I've got enough risk sitting in my own wallet. And I want to have somebody like BlackRock that I could sue. So to me, that's the reason I would go into one of those, and I don't think BlackRock's going to fail. Okay.
I mean, they are the company that the U.S. government went to back in 2008 and said, hey, help us. We need help bailing them out. That is such an interesting point you brought up, Gary. With Celsius, Voyager going under, issues currently at some of these exchanges, people are just afraid. So a follow-up question to what you said, do you think companies like Coinbase, Crypto.com, Binance, do you think they should be on high alert that a lot of this new vehicle people can use versus taking that risk, versus not only the risk of, hey, this exchange might go under, but legislative risk, right? Enforcement risk. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't think Coinbase and Binance are going to go under. Let's remember, there's been a deal here. Okay, like Binance, they're surrendering all the data. Okay, this has become a ultra transparent market to the government and BlackRock and anybody else playing. So, I think Coinbase has been anointed as the winner. I mean, is there would someone think it would be stupid to invest in Coinbase? I'm not sure that's a horrible investment, because it seems to me like they're going to get an awful lot of deal flow.
They're going to make
fees from. To me, they've been blessed, right? So, but we're now into multitude of centralized authorities that have more data than we do. Look, this is turning into a Wall Street product now. I'm sorry, we couldn't regulate ourselves, so Wall Street has taken over this product. I mean, I know that's a horrible thing for anyone to want to hear, but they are. And as long as we have a game condition where they're not stupid people, okay, they're not. They want to tokenize planet Earth, and that should be. I wouldn't worry so much. I think Larry Fink has understood. I don't think he cares about Bitcoin. I think he cares about tokenizing every asset on the planet and making fees on all of it. And if he is, if you come up with this scenario that says, okay, they're against us. No, they're not against us, man. They want the price up. Okay, 0.2 times $300,000 is a lot different than 0.2 times 35,000.
Yep.
That's all we got to know. Okay, price goes up is great for BlackRock. Everybody's long here. I would keep getting long. I would get long until you're vomiting Bitcoin out of your ears. As long as your position isn't so large that it's getting you pushed out, because you're going to get pushed. I think there's going to be more volatility. They're going to target you and your customers right now, your client base. They're going to target, man, because they know that, okay, that's the place I can put a lot of pressure. So I would be doing a lot of advocacy to your whole group. Hey, get control of your allocation. If you're this 10x trade, I wouldn't be doing that, man. You know, I wouldn't even know where to go to get a 10x trade on Bitcoin. Because I think that becomes really, really, really dangerous, because people are going to push into those points and liquidate your ass. But if you're allocated properly and your size and your time horizon is correct, you're going to get rich. Okay. For sure. If you don't get pushed out. So price for BlackRock, they have the same motivation that you and I do. For sure.
So to expand kind of on a couple things you said, you have Coinbase. I think that's one of the top plays. I mean, if you play around in the traditional markets, you have a portfolio that comprises stocks. I think Coinbase has got to be something you're looking at if you're looking to venture into crypto, in my opinion, because they're at both fronts, right? They're catering to the traditional crypto investor, where you'd like to buy off of an exchange, remove self-custody. They're a convenient on and off ramp. They have the nod from the U.S. government. They're whether or not the SEC wants to, whether or not the SEC wants to support crypto or fight against it. You know what? They're a publicly traded company, and they're here to stay. So they're gonna keep their own customers, and then on top of that, eight of the ETFs are using Coinbase as the custodial agent.
Yep.
And so they're playing both sides of the field here, and there's no other exchanges that are open that are allowed to operate here in the US in the same way that Coinbase does. They've also launched a derivatives platform, so another yet avenue that they have. And then
the spreads, the fees.
I'm very bullish. If I'm apprehensive on custodying Bitcoin, and I say I don't, but I want to kind of dabble in crypto, I mean, Coinbase is a no-brainer. They're up, I think 4x off of the bottom on their stock right now. I think this thing has got a lot more room to run. We have the halving coming up in 3 months. I am absolutely going to be keeping my eye on Coinbase, and I think other people should at least take note of where that's going to go and where the price is now. Also, I do, on Friday, to expand on Larry Fink, I'm glad you brought him up. Maybe we will shift the conversation here to what we expect institutions to do when it comes to smart contracts, to ETFs, as far as Ethereum, to tokenization. Larry Fink was on CNBC on Friday. He said that he's open to an ETF with Ethereum. It's something that they're looking at. He wouldn't come out and say that they're looking to launch one or whatever it may be. But he discussed a theory that he thinks that all assets are going to be tokenized in the traditional finance world. Now, when you think about that, probably securities as well, and perhaps the traditional model that we have on Wall Street, where, hey, we go to Wall Street to buy stocks, and that's the only place that it's available. Perhaps, this has been since Wall Street opened, so over 100 years, If you wanted to invest in a company that's publicly traded, you have to go on Wall Street. You have to buy there. Now, I think what Larry Fink was saying is that, hey, not only are you going to have tokenized assets as far as commodities that are traded on an ETF, but everything around us or everything that we invest in is going to be tracked and traced and run on a blockchain. And that's what he was saying. And I think that people didn't really, because I understand what that means as far as tokenization. And so for me, I'm like, that was a bombshell. I mean, BlackRock, giant was it $8 trillion? How many?
10.
Almost $10 trillion under management. GDP, if they were a country, would be in the top 5. And the CEO, the man that is born of traditional money, is saying that everything globally is going to be tracked and traced, tokenized, and he, in the same breath, mentions Ethereum. And so for me, I was beside myself. And so, Gary, I want to know, like, what do you think is going to unfold with smart contracts, perhaps Ethereum, perhaps ETF, or do you think that this is just a thought experiment? And I don't know.
How about this? Let me add another part to that question, Gary. Do you think once these companies start tokenizing real world assets, will they do it on their own chain and make the money that way, or will they use a public blockchain that's out there now?
That latter part is an interesting question. I think Robin's right that he wants to tokenize everything, but I think when we think about tokenization, what would be better is if we use words like, hey, look, one, people own too many whole assets that aren't utilized well, right? They have a low efficiency usage. For instance, an automobile sits in a garage 96% of the time. Just looking at that is like, really, is that a good use of a $20,000, $50,000 machine, right? That's sucking up energy. I mean, there's a lot of cost to having a garage sit there, right? So you're taking up 800 square feet just to put a car in it that's only being used very little, really. Let's think about Mona Lisa. For the first time in my life now, I can buy a fraction of a Mona Lisa. That's an upgrade for Gary Cardone, guys, okay? Because yesterday, I would never have any slice of a Mona Lisa, ever, 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 ever. Now I get to go, hey, wow, I don't have to buy a lithograph, dude. I could actually buy 1/100th of a get digital property for a piece of a Mona Lisa, just like I'd be able to buy a piece of Manhattan real estate. See, I think that's really a cool way to look at it. Oh, wow. Now, so imagine your sister who is renting in Chicago at $1,800 a month. That apartment building, what if she could continue renting? Because the myth is, you need to own real estate. Okay, cool. You rent the 2-bedroom, and you get to invest let's say it's $1,800, and you got another $30,000 hanging over there that would have cost you for a deposit on a house and all that. You take that 30 grand and you invest it in the apartment building, in the token, as you call the token, but in the fractured piece of that apartment building. Let's say you invest with my brother, right? You go into 123 Chicago, Illinois, #1 Summit. It's apartment building. You rent 2-bedroom, and you take the money you would have put into a house and you invest it in the exact same facility that you participate in. That's going to create a number of really sticky things. Like, first off, whoever's living there, if they're investing there also, they're going to treat the property better. Okay. And this is an opportunity for somebody to not have to give up all the 30 grand but it requires discipline to rent and then take the funds that were left over from mortgage, title, cleaning the green grass, making the plumbing, all that money that people don't really calculate in owning a home, that could be siphoned off into an investment in the very same piece of real estate that generates income. So to me, that's like we shouldn't worry about tokenization. Guys, we're already digital. This is the lie, and BlackRock knows it. There's no money moving around anywhere, man. There's no real cash anywhere in the system. So we're already digital. Now we're talking about doing it properly, accounting for it, and not having all these inefficiencies, right? Not having the $7 trillion in fines and fees and leakage that goes across the payment system every year. That is a massive amount of money, man. $7 trillion. Like that's 7/10 of the value of BlackRock every year, dude. Just leaking out of 200 million homes, $5, $3 NSF fees. So we're already digital. We just don't account for it properly because this is why I invested in Node 40, because I'm like, oh my God, the whole world is going to tokenize, and nobody knows how to measure it.
That's a great point. And, you brought up tokenizing, and you brought up real estate. Your brother Grant is big into real estate. The real estate market, $113 trillion in 2023. So that is a massive marketplace and a potential. A lot of people are saying that is the first industry that makes sense to tokenize. Can you imagine buying homes? Let's say Canada, for example, right? As a case study here. The way their fees work and their interest, majority of people are priced out of ever owning a home. Can you imagine being able to live in a home that you own 1/50th of, that you have other investors that own the other 49 of the 50, call it tokenized shares? Now you can live in it. It's an investment for people who could have maybe never bought a house for $400,000 or $500,000, rent it out, pay a management company 10% this, find people to bring in. Now you're opening up new avenues for people to make money, for people to own property or part of a property. Are you and maybe talking to your brother, unless you don't talk to him like I don't talk to my brothers, but are you seeing a narrative shift, or at least more intrigue, not only from him but from his colleagues in the space, and maybe expand on that a little bit?
Well, I really don't speak to Grant on his investment thesis. I will tell you that he is coming around on Bitcoin, and he will. But people should watch this guy, right? Because he is kind of the middle of the investor category that I'm talking about. He's never going to be first. He doesn't like risk. He has very little risk in his portfolio, if any. Now, funny enough, he will look at you and go, "Why would anybody buy the ETF, dude? Like, why would anybody have Bitcoin and not self custody?" Quite an interesting response for a legacy player who's like, "I don't even understand Bitcoin, but I'm going to self custody." So he sees that as a benefit. He's a bit of an oddball. I think most people his age will not see self custody as a benefit for large wags of large chunks of money. Look, I don't think tokenization on homes is going to work the way people think it is. I think this is one of the very robust, over the top goals and ambitions that the Bitcoiners and the blockchain industry has really underperformed on. The problem with real estate, especially homes, is that they're not fungible. Like my home here and the one next door, dude, like we're in the same zip code. My land I have a larger lot. I have a larger home. His was just redone. Maybe it's more modern than mine. What if he's got an environmental spill on his? What if he didn't pay the taxes? I mean, there's a lot of differences in real estate. I think apartment buildings make more sense because you can tokenize each one of those. But I think we have a long, long way to go on tokenizing real estate. I think first we need to do it to commodities and see it work. And why commodities? Because they're fungible. And maybe the other thing that's not fungible is identity. Okay, like I would like my identity protected. 42 people right now faking a Gary Cardone out, stealing from other people.
Mm.
It does some advertising for me, but I don't want to hurt any people. There should be one identity to Gary Cardone. That's it. That gets tokenized. That's cool. Securities, all that stuff that you get it, like, if you invest like me, dude, I get mail from all these banks sending me statements. So it's so wasteful. And we're already digital, right? So the issue now is settlement periods, time delays, and the fees associated with a very antiquated way of doing business. I'm getting greater transparency, more speed at less of a price. I don't think that goes away. I think people will expect more and more and more service for less. And that's because we're introducing something called transparency on a public blockchain. To go to your point, David, I think there'll be two options. There'll be public blockchain and there'll be the private. And you guys get to decide which one do you want to play with. I like the public personally. And I think also some of the ETFs, everyone's saying, hey, there's only going to be 3 winners. I'm not sure about that. I think there could be 5 or 6 winners.
Mm.
What if 2 or 3 of them said, we're going to provide you a product that is truly self-custody, an ETF that is self-custody? Now the question is, will the SEC allow it? Like maybe
I have faith in
the
Gary
SEC won't even
Gensler.
allow it. What's that?
That I have faith in Gary Gensler, but I was being arbitrary and capricious.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So look, we're really, really early stage, right? Like we're 5 days into the ETF. We don't really understand how settlement works yet. I think they're going to have more time. Look, this is an interesting thing. I was talking to Jason Williams last night about this. I've seen almost in my lifetime, I've seen almost every major bank, Nomura, copper companies, what was the big Japanese copper company, JP Morgan, every one of these, Enron, every major player I have seen below $500 million in a trading book and destroy their earnings for a year. Over 30 years, I've seen almost every bank have a problem in the old legacy world, okay, where nothing's settled instantly. You could play games. If you could blow up when you can do mark to market, what do you think is going to happen when you have a shortage of supply? Okay,
Bingo.
so I think the banks are going to play their old legacy game of being able to buy 2 and 3 days later on the ETF, and sooner or later somebody's going to blow up. And these companies have never dealt with a product like this. I am quite certain of that. With so many different characteristics. So somebody was laughing at me the other night because I was like, hey, there's no way I'm going to short the market going into the ETF. And I think they thought I thought the market would explode. I did think the market would go up, but there was no way that I would short that market because the risk.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see this one day, whether it's this year or next year. One day you're going to wake up and there's just not enough physical to go around. And that is not a big guess, okay? There's always a premium for physical for any commodity when there's stress in the marketplace. But unlike those other commodities, I think in Bitcoin's term, the price goes up. It will never go below 0.
Yeah.
It can't go below 0. The reason that electricity goes below 0 is because it stops at 0. But with Bitcoin, it stops at 0.0000000008. Like for 21 million units, I'll bid 0.00004. Okay, right. I mean, like I can afford that. I think. I think I can afford that. So it never goes to 0 like these other ones, but it could explode to 1,000. It might be 12 minutes, but it could freaking explode to 1,000 for sure.
And to your point, when gold, the ETF went live and gold becomes popular or everyone starts panicking and central banks start buying gold, guess what? People are going to look at, hey, gold is $2,500 an ounce, $3,000 an ounce. Let me go invest buy more, let me expand my business operation to go mine more gold. Or let me go spend time, or let me invest in mining companies because you can mine more gold. With Bitcoin, it's simple economics, right? Supply and demand. If demand is high and supply gets cut in half, I don't think you need to be a brain surgeon or a macroeconomist to understand the implications this will have on price, especially with these ETFs having to go out and buy the actual Bitcoin. Gary, we wanted to thank you so much for joining us. Guys, if you want more Gary Cardone, we did pin the link to his socials at the top of this chat. Speaking of chats, Gary, we love having you on. It's always a great conversation with you joining us, my friend. We look forward to bringing you on again, and I look forward to coming on your spaces again. A lot of good info, a lot of good people on there. You guys are doing a really good job. I mean, you're committing a lot of time. I mean, you're sometimes running these spaces for 4, 5, 6 hours. Just a lot of great insight from different people. So thank you for being a big voice in our space and kind of pushing the narrative of Bitcoin and blockchain forward. We appreciate you, my friend, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. You guys have a great week. Let's catch up again. And you guys are both always welcome on the Twitter Spaces. I like what we're doing there. We're going to probably go for a heavy educational push on building businesses and understanding the space better. So really appreciate both you guys and your contributions to the whole industry.
Thank you, Gary. We appreciate you.
We're also practicing our poker. We have a poker night here in Sin City at my house.
You want to fly out, Gary?
Now, February 5th. I don't know. It's only a few weeks away, but
I wonder, could you push it a week? I may be there 13th, 14th in Vegas.
Robin, I think I
might have to have a post game with you.
All right, maybe. We'll look at the details of it, but yeah, we got a little cash home game at Big Rob's
There's
house.
a limit though, Gary, so you can't come in here with a big stack and bully everyone, okay? There's going to be a total cap.
But we do it in straight Vegas fashion. We got bartenders and dealers and showgirls.
Like if it was a week later, I would be there, okay? I might show up anyway, but give me a hard date on it.
Okay, I feel like I can talk some. I'll convince Rob. Gary, thank you, man. Have a great day, brother. Take care.
All right.
See you guys.
All right.
We missed his last poker game.
I know.
We got to go to the next one.
We got to go.
It's coming up soon, right?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
You won the last poker game.
You're very dangerous switching from tournament to cash game.
But tell me,
take everyone's money.
I do have a strong hand in the build out and the theatrics of this show as far as what this thing looks like and all the little features and bells and whistles. And so I do all the same for the poker game. So, we roll out this. There's no shortage of investment that goes into running the poker game at Big Rob's house. So,
yeah, I know. I was there for
chefs, everything, man. It's intense.
I want to show you this 4-hour BTC. Look at how tight these Bollinger Bands are. The second to last time, December 31st, we had a move of 10%. Then back on January 7th, we had a move of 9%. I will be trading this setup on BTC. Am I going to go long or short? You're going to have to tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our special live trading show, the 100X with BingX. We'll be putting in some trades live. Will Robin have a new pattern forming on the charts? You're going to have to tune in to find out. We're super excited for this. I tweeted out, 2024 is a big year for us. We're growing exponentially. We continue to do so. New products, new segments, new partnerships, new guests. So we're super excited. We hope you'll stick around and come on this journey with us. We're blowing up. We want you to blow up with us.
Also, a little shout out. We did have a super chat from Red Star 7311. He was mentioning being bullish about BTC and look no further than Berkshire Hathaway as well. And then some of the new people I've spotted out: Aztec World, Gizma, Grizz Garios, Remington, Walking Dead, Aya Tyken, names, Paul, Hawk, High Rollers, Sakik, also wrong again with the last name I pronounced also Modfi, High Rollers, Ben O.T., Ken Wong, AIQ, Reactions.
Jesus Christ.
I'm done.
Thank you.
Anyways,
Thank
to
God.
you that
That
I
was
mispronounced your
painful.
name. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Let's get one more Ola train going. Type of Ola in the chat if you liked today's show.
Thank God that's over.
OLA. This is the slogan, the motto, Portuguese also.
Hola.
I'm putting the first Ola in the chat. No, Mike beat me. Damn it.
Well, you guys are Oloing out over here. I want to give a big shout out to channel sponsor Canvas Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business scale and grow, visit bluewiretech.com. Also, tomorrow is Rate My Portfolio. If you want your portfolio rated live on the show, DM us on Twitter or send us an email, media@sincitycrypto.io. If we pick yours, we will share it. We'll keep you anonymous if you'd like. It's a great segment. We didn't do it last week because of all the ETF buzz, but we're back at it tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. Also, go follow us on Twitter @SinCityCrypto1. And with that being said, Rocco.
I like that sweater, Rocco.
Yeah, you can find us in City Crypto merch.
Don't worry, there'll be a billion of them
Billion
again
crypto
next year as they try to keep the sweater price stable. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We love you. Come back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern.
XRP
Crazy Show Live.
Yeah, you should have asked me if I want to sell my
Show's
XRP.
over. Show's
I want to sell
over.
my XRP now, right?
Show's over.
Yeah, sure.
Roll the credits.
Yeah. XRP economics. Blah, 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 blah.
David, I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin is your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.